Guys, you know that feeling when you see an AI generated website and you just know? You could smell the AI on it from a mile away. Those cookie cutter layouts, that flat corporate vibe, that same boring template everyone else is using. Today, we're going to try to fix it, all of it. So what's up once again? I'm Marwan, and if you've been around here, you do things slightly differently. We're not here to study theory for 6 months. We're not here to burn through your credit card on expensive tools, and we're definitely not here to write a single line of code. So today I'm showing you exactly how to build 5 absolutely stunning editorial grade websites using nothing but free trials and simple prompts. And when I say editorial grade, I mean the kind of sites that make people stop scrolling and go, wait, how did you make this? So here's the thing, everyone's out here trying to be a developer, learning React, writing with CSS, debugging JavaScript at 2 in the morning. Meanwhile, us smart builders, we're using AI to do all the heavy lifting while we focus on what actually matters: taste, style, shipping, actual products. By the end of the video, you're going to have 5 complete builds in your arsenal. So we're talking a fashion editorial page that looks like it came straight out of Vogue's digital team, a tactical studio wall for product roadmaps that feels like actual sticky notes, a kinetic daily news recap that pulses with energy, a waitlist page so clean it hurts, and an event page that feels like a dream. And here's the kicker. We're doing all of this without writing a single line of code, like we said, without paying for anything beyond some free trials, and without any of that technical nonsense that usually gatekeeps a really good design. So welcome to the prompt and go revolution. So let's go ahead and cook it up. So before we dive in, let me explain what's actually happening here and why it matters for you specifically. So the problem with AI builders isn't necessarily the AI, it's really how people are using them. Everyone's going in with these vague prompts, make me a nice website, and then wondering why they get some generic garbage. It's like walking into a restaurant and make me food. Yeah, you get it. It's make me food, you get something, but it probably won't be what you wanted. So what we're doing today is completely different. We're going to be surgical with our prompts. We're going to speak the language these builders understand. And most importantly, we're going to layer our builds in a way that creates depth and personality. So think of it like this. When a professional designer creates a website, they don't just throw everything at the wall at once. They start with structure and then add some movement and then some polish with a little bit of style. And that's exactly what we're going to do, except we're going to get the AI to do all of the technical work while we direct it like we're filming a movie. So I know some of you are thinking, I don't know anything about design. What do I do, Marwan? And that's going to be the beautiful part, is you don't need to. I'm going to give you the exact steps, the exact sequence, and the exact mindset shifts that will turn your basic AI output into something that looks like you did hire an agency. And the tools we're using today, all free or trial-based: V0 from Vercel, completely free tier; Dora AI, free trial; Mixio, free trial; Rocket.new, and you guessed it, that's going to be on the free trial. And we're not spending a dime because honestly, the best builders know how to work with constraints. Unlimited budgets make you kind of lazy, so constraints make you creative. Now, before we start building, we need to establish some ground rules. These aren't just arbitrary limitations. These are the principles that separate amateur hour from professional output. So rule number 1, no code, period. I don't care if you know how to code. Today, we're not touching it because, well, you ask why? Because the moment you start tweaking code, you're not building anymore. Your error handling, your debugging is sometimes where dreams go to die. So today we're builders, we're not debuggers. So rule number 2, free trial only. Look, I get it. There are amazing paid tools out there, but here's what I've learned after some time of doing this. If you can't make something beautiful with a free tool, paying for premium won't save you. Plus, most of you are just starting out, so you shouldn't be dropping hundreds of dollars before you even know what this is for you. And then rule number 3, most of our builds follow like a 3-prompt structure for this demo, except when we're using Dora and Mixio, where we'll combine everything into one mega prompt. And then why 3? Because it's kind of the perfect balance. 1 prompt for structure, 1 for movement, 1 for polish, and it's kind of like a waltz. Simple, it's elegant, it can be effective. And then we have rule number 4, we don't write JSON or any structured data by hand. Instead, we just tell the AI to think in structure internally. So this is the game changer that most people don't know about. When you tell an AI to organize its thinking, even without giving explicit formatting, it produces way better results. So rule number 5, motion without video. We're creating the illusion of movement using scroll effects, hover states, and parallax. No heavy video files, no bandwidth issues, no encoding nightmares, just pure efficient design that feels alive. And here's the most important rule. When something doesn't work perfectly the first time, we just don't panic. We don't spam the regenerate button like we're at a slot machine. We read what the AI gave us, We understand why it interpreted our prompt that way, and then we nudge it in the right direction. This is the difference between someone who uses AI and someone who actually masters it. And we are AI app masters, right? So let's start with our first build. It's going to blow your mind because we're about to create something that looks like a high-end fashion brand's website in literally 3 prompts. So we're going to open up V0. That's v0.dev if you're following along, and click on the new chat and get ready to paste our first prompt. But before you do, let me explain what's happening here. Most people try to describe every little detail of their website in one giant prompt. That's like trying to paint the Mona Lisa with a paint roller. So we're going to be way smarter about this. We're going to build in layers. So we are going to get prompt 1, which is you are a creative front side builder. Make a single page fashion trial and editorial, landing full bleed hero, punchy headlines, subcopy 3 feature cards, upload pick outfit preview, and try it CTA button with no backend, minimal, lots of white space, add a sticky navigation with the brand, basic to bougie. Look at what we did just there. We didn't say make me a fashion website. We gave it a role, create more of a creative front of site builder. We specified exact components, hero, headline, and cards. We set the tone, minimal, luxe, white space, and we even gave it a brand name and set the whole vibe here. So we watch what happens when V0 processes this. It's not just going to generate random elements. It's composing a layout based on actual design principles. And we can see how it's already creating the hierarchy. That hero section demanding attention, those cards are going to create rhythm, and that white space is letting everything breathe. So this is what most people miss. AI doesn't need you to micromanage. It needs you to be clear about intent. When you say minimal luxe type, AI knows to reach for elegant typefaces. When you say lots of white spaces, it knows to be restrained with elements. So now, while that's beautiful, it's also static, it's flat, has no soul. That's where prompt 2 comes in. So you're going to add an immersive storytelling section mid-page as the user scrolls. So text steps, upload a selfie, add a garment, see the preview, reveal alongside a large image placeholder that has a slightly parallax shift when you scroll, and it keeps the assets as placeholders only. So boom, there we go. So we just added narrative, we added movement, we added depth. Storytelling isn't just a buzzword. It's how modern websites tell a story. As users scroll, they're not consuming information, they're experiencing it. And notice we use placeholders for images. Why? Because we're staying lean. We're not getting bogged down in asset management. We're focusing on structure and flow. The images can come later when you're actually deploying this for a real brand. So the parallax effect, that's the secret sauce. It creates this sense of depth. Elements are floating at different distances from the screen. It's subtle, but your brain picks up on it. It makes the site feel expensive without spending anything. Now for the final touch, the editorial polish that transforms this from nice website to who's your designer. So prompt 3, we're going to get the polish for editorial vibe. It's going to be high contrast typography, subtle blur and glass cards are on backs, soft drop shadows, and muted beige ivory palette. Make the CTA anchored in the hero and repeated in the footer. No external APIs, static only. This is where the magic's going to happen. High contrast typography isn't just about making text readable. It's about creating some visual tension. That tension is what makes designs feel alive. The blur and glass effect, it's called glass morphism, and it's been a huge in design for the past couple years. It makes elements feel like they're floating above the page. The muted beige and ivory palette, that's not random. Those colors stay luxury without screaming. They whisper expensive. They suggest quality without being obvious about it. Now, then you see that repeated CTA strategy. That's conversion optimization 101. You anchor it in the hero where people see it, then repeat it in the footer for people who scroll all the way down. And it's like leaving little breadcrumbs for your users to follow. So look at what we just built in 3 prompts, no code, no design degree, just clear communication with the AI. And this is the kind of page fashion brands have paid agencies in the past $50K to build. Of course, that's all changing now, but you still did it in just 3 minutes. So build 2, we're going to switch gears completely. We're going from high fashion to startup product management. This next build is what I like to call a studio wall. Imagine a digital version of those walls covered in sticky notes that product teams use for planning. The reason I'm showing you such different builds is to prove a point. This method works for everything. It's not about this specific industry or style. It's about understanding how to communicate with the AI builders. So create a single page, feature Studio wall, hero headline, one sentence pitch, a 2x3 grid of feature cards with status chips, backlog, in progress, shipped, a simple vote next bar, and an email, notify me when shipped, field mobile first. So let's break down what's genius about this prompt. First, we're calling it a studio wall, not a roadmap or feature list. That name alone tells AI we want something more tactile, more visual, less corporate. The 2x3 grid, that's intentional. 6 items is a perfect number for cognitive load. Any more and people just get overwhelmed. Any less and it looks empty. The status chips, backlog, in progress, shipped, those create a sense of movement in progress even though nothing is actually moving. And notice that mobile first at the end, it's not just a buzzword. When you tell AI to think mobile first, it prioritizes clarity and hierarchy. Desktop designs can hide bad decisions with extra space, so mobile forces you to be good. So the vote next bar and the email field, those aren't functional, they're psychological. They make users feel like they have input and they're part of the process. That's how you build community around a product before it even exists. So give it a tactile studio wall look, paper card shadow, tiny colored status dots, and a sticky mini roadmap strip after the hero. Keep it clean and fast, no heavy media. This is where we transform digital into physical. Paper card shadows aren't just shadows, they're specifically calibrated to look like actual cards sitting on the surface. Your brain recognizes that depth instantly. It makes the interface feel like something you could reach out and touch. The colored status dots, that's skeuomorphism done right, not overdone like the old iOS days, but just enough to create familiarity. Green for shipped, yellow for in progress, gray for backlog. Everyone understands that language without explanation. That sticky mini roadmap strip, that's navigation and context in one. As users scroll, they never lose sight of where they are in the product journey. It's like having a GPS for your website. So push one clear action, vote plus notify, keep secondary links light, move facts to the footer, and ensure the email field is above the fold on desktop and mobile. This is what separates amateur landing pages from conversion machines. One clear action, not 5 CTAs competing for attention, not a nav bar full of distractions. One clear action. Vote plus notify. That's it. Everything else on the page exists to support that single goal. The facts in the footer, they're just there for the skeptics, but they're not cluttering the main experience. The email field above the fold, that's so people can commit before they talk themselves out of it. This is psychology meets design meets business strategy, and we're implementing it all through simple prompts. No conversion optimization courses, no A/B testing platforms, just clear thinking translated into clear instructions. All right, this next one is my favorite because we're going to do something completely different. We're using Dora AI, and instead of 3 separate prompts, we're going to hit it with one mega prompt that contains everything. Why? Because Dora is built different. It can handle complexity. It can handle performance that's better when you give it full vision up front rather than building pieces. This is important to understand. Different AI builders have different strengths. Part of mastering this game is knowing which tools to use and when. So you're going to Dora AI, clicking Build with AI, and we're about to paste something that might look overwhelming, but it's actually incredibly structured. So let me show you the prompt first, and then let me explain how that's going to work. So we're going to make a one-page site called Not X Daily Hype Recap, dark, high contrast, kinetic, structure, sticky top bar with a date, then scrolling past the hero, swap date, text to live, hero block with bold compression headlines, short deck line right below it, a large play recap dummy button, not a real video. So 3 recap sections. We have tech, sports, culture. Each section equals a headline, 2 to 3 summary cards, tiny label chips, hover micro motion, and a vertical progress pill that fills as the page scrolls. So motion illusions only. So hover shift, subtle parallax on hero image placeholder, progress pill, no external data or APIs. And the typography is going to be condensed heads, monospace labels, and 1 neon accent for links. Mobile single columns, desktop 2-column card grid. So the footer, made with AI, no code, free trial, keep it fast and static, no embeddings, no forms, no heavy media. Now I know that looks like a lot, but look at the structure. We're using bullet points to organize our thoughts. We're being specific about every major components. We're defining the visual language, dark, high contrast, kinetic. That word kinetic is doing heavy lifting here. It tells the AI we want energy, movement, and life. So the Not X branding is obviously a play on Twitter's transformation, but it's also tapping into this cultural moment where everyone wants an alternative to everything. It's counterculture as a design principle. So that date swap to live when scrolling, that's creating urgency. It's making static content feel real time. The play recap button, that doesn't actually play anything. That's managing expectations while maintaining the aesthetic of a media platform. The 3 sections, tech, sports, culture, that's the trifecta of what people actually care about online. It's broad enough to appeal to everyone, but specific enough to feel curated. Now watch what happens when Dora processes this. If the first generation doesn't quite nail it, here's a secret: hit regenerate, but not frantically. Look at what it's produced, understand what's worked and what didn't, then regenerate with intention. So see, each regeneration is Dora taking another swing at interpreting your vision. It's not random, it's exploring different ways to handle your prompt. Maybe the first one nails the dark aesthetic, but misses the kinetic feel. The second might get the motion right, but lose some of the contrast. Third, who knows? That's usually where the magic's gonna happen. So what we're looking for is that compressed headline that feels urgent, the dummy play recap button that's prominent but garish. Those section cards will subtly hover. That effect will make the page feel responsive even though it's completely static. This is editorial design meets news, media meets modern web aesthetics, and we're creating it with one prompt and a couple regenerations. No newsroom, no CMS, no backend, just pure front-end theater. The next build is intentionally simple, build 4, and that's the point. Sometimes the hardest thing in design is restraint. Everyone wants to add features, add sections and complexity, but the best landing pages, they do one thing perfectly. We're using Mixio for this because Mixio excels at minimalism. It's not trying to be everything to everyone. It's trying to create clean, focused landing pages that convert. And we're going to push it to its minimalist extreme. So in Mixio, you'll see the field that says describe your startup idea. This is where most people write a novel about their business, but we're not going to do that. We're being pretty surgical here. A minimal teaser landing called Lab Drop, micro tools, weekly, keep it one screen, big serif headline, 1-line promise, 3 ultra brief bullets, single email box with a bold join waitlist button, add a slim credibility strip, build by power users with 3 tiny check marks. Neutral palette, soft dividers, generous spacing, no extra sections, no carousels, no embeds. Let's talk about what makes this prompt powerful. Keep it one screen. That's the consistent. That's the constraint that forces quality. When you can't hide behind multiple sections, every element has to earn its place. Big sheriff headline. Sheriffs are having a moment. They suggest authority, tradition, craftsmanship, but a big serif headline, that's going to be confidence. That's we don't need to explain ourselves confidence. So 3 ultra brief bullets, not features, not benefits, just hints. Bullets like tools that actually work, or no bloat ever, or ship faster. They're not explaining, they're declaring. So the credibility strip is psychologically gold, built for power users. That's insider language. It says if you get it. The 3 check marks don't even need labels. They're just signals. So your brain fills the blanks. Let's watch how Mixio interprets this. If it adds extra sections, we delete them. We're pretty ruthless here. The power of this page is in what's not there. Every startup wants to explain everything. The cool ones, they know mystery is magic. Mystery is magnetic. And the entire page should load in under a second. It should work perfectly on a phone from as far back as 2015. It should be so simple that it's impossible to get confused. And that's not lazy design, that's confident design. For our final build, we're creating an event page that feels like a dream. Not literally dreamy, but that aesthetic where everything feels slightly unreal, slightly elevated, like looking through rose-colored glasses, but for web design. We're using Rocket.new for this, which is relatively new to the scene, but incredibly powerful for this specific type of build. It understands atmospheric design better than most builders. Start by clicking AI website, and we're going to build this in our signature 3 prompt structure, but pay attention to how we layer the atmosphere with each prompt. So we're going to create a single page event site, night shift, pop-up showcase, above the fold, date, city, headline, and 1 get early bird button. So below, the line of cards is simple schedule list, tiny map placeholder, the facts, mobile first, fast. The first prompt is all about information architecture. We're not thinking about pretty just yet. We're thinking about hierarchy. What do people need to know immediately? Date, city, what it is, how to buy tickets. Everything else is secondary. Night shift as a name sets the whole tone. It's not evening showcase or pop-up event. Night shift suggests something that happens when the normal world is asleep. It's already creating atmosphere just through naming. That 1 button constraint above the fold, that's discipline. Most event pages have learn more and buy tickets and see lineup all competing. We're saying no. One button, get early bird, and that's it. So keep the fold ultra focus, headline, date, one line promise, and the ticket button visible on both desktop and mobile without scrolling. No carousels, no background video, no minimal imagery. The second prompt is about refinement. We're taking what it built and making it sharper. Ultra focused is the key phrase here. We're not asking for focus, we're asking for ultra focus. No carousels, no background video. These are the crutches bad designers use when they don't trust their typography and layout. We're better than that. We're creating impact through restraint. The one-line promise is crucial. Something like where sound meets vision or 3 hours of pure energy is not just explaining the event, it's promising a feeling. So the style with a dreamy glass look, subtle blur headers, gentle gradient background, soft light leaks, and modern neutral type. Keep assets lightweight, avoid heavy media. Footer made with AI, no code. Now we're painting the atmosphere. Dreamy glass isn't a specific design system, it's a feeling we're evoking. The AI understands this language. It knows we want something ethereal, something that feels expensive but effortless. So, soft light leaks, that's the kind of detail that separates generic from gorgeous. Light leaks are those subtle color bleeds you see in film photography. They suggest imperfection, humanity, artistry. So, modern neutral type keeps it grounded. With all the atmospheric design, you need typography that doesn't compete. Clean, simple, confident. Let that atmosphere do the heavy lifting. And that footer attribution made with AI, no code, that's not hiding anything. You don't have to put something like that, but that's just taking some ownership and saying, look what's possible with no code. We built 5 completely different sites, each with its own personality, each solving a different problem, but the builds themselves aren't the real lesson here. The real lesson is the mindset, the approach, the way of thinking that makes this possible. So let me break down the meta principles that make all of this work. So the first principle is structure thinking without structure building. When I say tell the AI to think in structure, I'm not asking you to write JSON or XML or any of that. I'm saying frame your prompt in a way that helps the AI organize its approach. When you list components, when you use bullet points, when you specify relationships, you're giving the AI a mental model, not a technical specification. You can think of it like this. If you're explaining to a human designer what you wanted, you wouldn't hand them code. You'd sketch boxes on paper, you'd point to examples, you'd use metaphors, and that's exactly what we're doing with our prompts. So the second principle is going to be the 3-layer cake. Every good design has 3 layers. Structure, what's there, dynamics, how it moves, and polish, how it feels. This isn't my invention. This is how design has always worked. Cave paintings had composition, gesture, and detail. The Sistine Chapel has architecture, narrative, and finishing. When we prompt these 3 stages, base, motion, editorial, we're following this ancient pattern. We're not trying to do everything at once. We're building deliberately, with intention, with patience. And so the third principle, regeneration as exploration, most people hit regenerate like they're pulling a slot machine handle, hoping for a jackpot. That's not how you use regeneration. Each regeneration is an AI showing you a different interpretation of your vision. It's like a photographer showing you different angles of the same subject. So when you regenerate, you're not saying that was wrong, try again. You're saying, show me another perspective. So this shift in mindset changes everything. So you can always keep running your prompts, the same prompt over and over again for different regeneration, and you can stop fighting the AI and start collaborating with it, making little changes as you go. So the fourth principle is constraint as a catalyst. So we're using free tools, no code, no asset, no backend, and these aren't limitations necessarily, they're liberators. When you can't solve problems with money or complexity, you have to solve them with creativity. Every constraint we've accepted has forced us to be better. No video, we created motion with parallax. No images, we focused on typography and space. No backend, we built psychological features instead of functional ones. So this is how professionals actually work. They don't have unlimited budgets and time, they have constraints, and they turn those into style, basically. So the fifth principle, 1 action per page. This might be the most important principle for anyone building landing pages. Every page should have 1 primary action, not 3, not 5, just 1. So vote plus notify, join waitlist, and get the early bird. Everything else on the page exists to support that 1 action. This isn't just design advice, it's business advice. Confused visitors don't convert, clear visitors do convert. So now let me address something that might be on your mind. So Marwan, this is all great for demos, but what about real production sites? What about when I need actual functionality? So this is where understanding the ecosystem becomes important. What we're doing today, these prompt-based builds, this is your prototyping layer. This is how you validate ideas, test aesthetics, and show clients or investors what's actually possible. When you're ready to scale, there's this concept called API Gateway. Vercel makes one, other companies too. That becomes your control center. Instead of juggling different AI services, different API keys, different billing systems, you route everything through one gateway. Think of it like this. Right now, we're using different AI builders. We're visiting different restaurants. A gateway is like having all of those restaurants deliver to one address. You order from one menu, you pay one bill, but you get access to everything. And then here's the key, you don't start there. You start where we are today. Free tools, simple prompts, fast iteration. You only add complexity when you've validated what you're building actually matters. Once you validate what actually matters, then you can make it more complex. Too many people try to build the perfect technical stack before they even know if their idea resonates with that stack. And I know a lot of people want builders that already know the stack you need for the industry. I've had some people ask me that. But like I said, too many people try to build the perfect technical stack before they even know if the idea resonates. And so it's kind of going to be like buying a Ferrari before you have a driver's license. So if you start with the free tools, validate your ideas, then scale to the ones that work. So, but Marwan, how do I make money from sites that don't actually do anything? Well, great question. Let me blow your mind on how many ways you can monetize static, beautiful websites. So the first strategy is the template bundle. Take these 5 builds we just created, export them, package them, sell them as a bundle. The editorial web collection, the 5 premium templates, 0 code required. You can price that at about $47. Sell it on Gumroad, Lemon, Squeezy, whatever. You just need to sell 100 to make $4,700. That's nothing on the internet. So prompting hours, position yourself as a prompt designer or an AI web director, and then charge $150 for a 30-minute session where you live prompt someone's website while they watch. They're not paying for the website. They're paying for you to watch, for you to think, to understand your process, to get your exact prompts, see how you build something beautiful. And that happens quite a bit. So build a long workshop. Basically, host that live workshop, build 3 professional sites in about 30 minutes, charge $27 per ticket, get 50 people to show up, charge $5 per ticket, charge $1, just a half an hour of your time, record it, sell the recording for a little bit, and put it on YouTube, create a community. That's passive income pretty much forever as long as it's hot, and keep repeating that. The agency model without the agency. So here's the real secret. Clients don't care how you build their sites. They care that they get built. You can literally build the entire agencies using these tools. Clients need a landing page, 15 minutes in V0. Event page, 10 minutes in Rocket.new. Charge agency prices, deliver agency quality, keep agency margins. So there's also the education play. You can create a course, editorial web design with AI, no code required, but don't make it about the tools, make it about the thinking. Teach the 3-layer method, teach constraint, creativity, teach prompt architecture, price it at a couple hundred, get 300. You only need 30 students to hit 9,000. The key to all of these, you're not selling websites, you're selling information, you're selling transformation, you're selling the ability to go from I can't build websites to I just shipped 5 sites before lunch and they work and people like them. So let me save you from the mistake everyone makes when they start doing this, over prompting. So the biggest mistake beginners make, we all make, is writing prompts like we're trying to write a novel, then trying to describe every pixel, every interaction, every edge case. The AI is just going to get confused. You're going to get frustrated. Everyone loses. So remember, AI builders are pretty smart. They understand context. Give them the vision and the key constraints and then let them work. Just like hiring a professional, you don't tell them how to hold the tools. You tell them what you want to build. So another pitfall is going to be fighting the AI's interpretation. So sometimes the AI will interpret your prompt differently than you expected. Your instinct will be to fight it, to force it to go back to your original vision, but instead, just ask yourself, is what the AI created actually better than what I imagined? Now, generally speaking, that might be a no, but some of the best designs came from AI misunderstanding me in interesting ways. It's like jazz. The unexpected notes often make the music. Okay, everyone designs for desktop first because that's what they're sitting at, but 70% of web traffic is mobile. When you design desktop first, you're designing for the minority. So always include mobile first in your prompts. It forces cleaner hierarchy, better focus, and ultimately better design. Desktop is just mobile with more breathing room. So pitfall number 4 is feature creep. You'll be tempted to add just one more section or just one more button. Don't. Every element you add dilutes the power of everything else. It's like adding water to wine. It doesn't make more wine, it just makes weaker wine. So stick to your one primary action. Be ruthless about cutting. The best designs are finished not when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to remove, really. So another pitfall, number 5, the last pitfall, is perfectionism paralysis. So you'll regenerate 50 times trying to get the perfect version. It's kind of like those Instagram days. You'll take 1,000 pictures. Well, not me, but some people. And you'll pick just a couple. Here's the truth. Version 3 is usually good enough. Version 7 is definitely good enough. Version 50 is you just procrastinating. Ship at 80% perfect and you can always iterate, but you can't iterate on something that doesn't exist. Done is better than perfect, especially when done takes about 10 minutes. So you're going to want to scale your skills. So you've built these 5 sites, you understand the principles. So what's next? How do you level up from here? So level 1, you have to master the tools. So you're going to start with learning one builder inside and out. I recommend V0 because it's the most flexible. Learn its quirks, its strengths, its hidden features. Also lovable. That's a good starter. That's where I started. Build 10 sites in V0 before you move on.
So each site teaches you something new about prompting, new about design, and about what's actually possible. So you can develop your aesthetic. You can start by collecting some inspiration and not to copy, but just to understand, why does that fashion site feel so expensive? Why does that startup page feel so innovative? It's usually not one thing. It's a combination of typography, spacing, color, movement, and you just build your visual vocabulary, really. So you also need to learn business side of things. The best builders understand business, not just design. And so why does an e-commerce site need trust signals? Why do B2B sites focus on pain points? Why do consumer apps emphasize delight? When you understand why, your designs serve a purpose beyond just looking pretty. So the next level is you're going to have to build a portfolio, but not just like a traditional portfolio. You're going to have to build a portfolio of prompts, document your best prompts, your 3-layer sequences, your regeneration strategies. This becomes your intellectual property. These prompts are going to be your receipts, and receipts can be worth millions if they're pretty much in the right hands. So just maybe you become the person who builds the best event pages. Maybe you're the waitlist wizard. Maybe you specialize in editorial design for fashion brands. The riches are in the niches. And when you're known for one thing, you can charge 10 times more than necessarily a generalist. Now, let me get philosophical for a minute because this is bigger than just building websites. What we're doing here is democratizing design. For decades, good design was gatekept by technical skill. You needed to know Photoshop, CSS, JavaScript. You needed years of training, expensive tools, and most importantly, you needed a lot of time. So now you just need taste and clear communication, and that's it. This isn't about replacing designers or developers. It's about expanding who gets to create. It's about that entrepreneur in Nigeria who has an idea but no technical co-founder. It's about that teacher in Kansas who wants to build educational tools but can't code. It's about that artist in Japan who has vision but not venture capital. So we're not removing the barriers between imagination and implementation. We're making it so that if you can dream it and describe it, you can build it. But with this power comes responsibility. Just because you can build anything doesn't mean you should build everything. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more signal, it needs more beauty, more utility, and more joy. So as you use these tools, you have to ask yourself, am I adding to the beauty of the world or just the clutter? Am I solving the real problem or just playing with the technology? Am I building something that matters or just something that exists? Now, of course, we know the tools are neutral and the prompts are neutral, but what you build with them, that's going to be on you. Build things that matter, build things that help, build things that make the world a little bit better, a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more interesting. So really my final thoughts is, look, we just built 5 professional websites in under an hour with no code and no budget and no extensive training, just clear thinking and good prompts. But here's what I really would like for you to understand. This just isn't about the specific sites we built. It's about the compatibility. You can build anything. The idea you've been sitting on, build it. The client who needs a website, you build it. That side project you've been dreaming about, you just build it. The barriers are pretty much gone. The gatekeepers are irrelevant. And the only thing standing between you and shipping is you. So here's your homework. Pick one of these builds and make it yours. Change the copy, adjust the colors, add your own twist, then go ahead and share it, put it on Twitter, X, put it in YouTube, drop it in the comments, put it in school community link is in the description. Send it to that friend who said AI can't do anything, and then just prove them wrong, really. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to really master this, here's what you do. You build one new site every day for 30 days. Different styles, different purposes, different tools. By day 30, you won't just be good at this. You'll be pretty much unstoppable, or just get to 30 sites. Just build 30 sites as quick as possible. Remember, we're not here to study. We're here to ship. We're not here to perfect. We're here to progress. And we're not here to follow. We're here to lead. So this is Marwan King, and you've just joined the Prompt and Go revolution. So welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the future. Welcome to a world where you can just imagine it and you can build it. Now, stop watching, start building. Thank you if you've made it this far. The world is waiting for what you're going to create. So peace out, builders. Let's see what you can ship. Comment and subscribe. Now, if you're still here and you're serious about this, I can tell you're serious about this if you're still here. So let me give you a little bit of advanced strategies that I usually don't share. So take any website you love, describe it to the AI builder, and then make it feel like sunshine, or just make it feel like fire, make it feel like whatever. For example, build me an Airbnb homepage just like Airbnb's, but make it feel like an underground music venue. The AI will create fascinating combinations you never would have imagined. And then there's another tip. You can add temporal context to your prompts. You can design like it's 2025, but inspired by 1970s Swiss design, or create a website that feels like it's from 2040, but built with 2020s nostalgia. This creates unique aesthetics that really stand out. Now, there's also the tip 3, the emotional stack. Instead of describing visual elements, you can describe emotions. Make this feel like Sunday morning coffee mixed with the excitement of a first date with undertones of professional confidence. The AI's interpretation will surprise you sometimes. So, advanced tip number 4, the constraint challenge. Give yourself impossible constraints, impossible barriers. Build a complete website using only typography and white space, or create a shopping site with no product images. These constraints will force innovation. So advanced tip number 5, the cross-pollination technique. So combine prompts for completely different industries. Build a law firm website with the energy of a streetwear drop, or create a meditation app landing page that feels like a racing game. The unexpected combinations are often pretty brilliant. So remember, the AI is not the limit, your imagination is. So you're like the Green Lantern here. You just push your boundaries, you break conventions, you build weird things, you build beautiful things, you build things that make people stop and stare. And the revolution isn't coming, it's here, and you're a part of it. So now seriously, let's go build something amazing. See you later.